Ladies and gentlemen, and hockey fans of all ages, welcome back to another exciting edition of Randy Talks Hockey. I am your host, Randy Dillon. The 2020 NHL trade deadline has gone, ladies and gentlemen. NHL teams, they have made their move. Some teams made big moves. Some teams made small, minor moves. They were great, maybe bad, decent, or they were just awful. We're going to rank the teams on separate categories today on great, good, decent, okay, could have done more, and just awful. We're going to rank these teams on what I think that happened over the deadline and what was leading up to the deadline as well. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to go on teams that are either trying to increase their odds to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, win Lord Stanley, or have better odds in the future at the draft, increase their prospect pool as they start to rebuild. We're going to start off with teams that I thought that were in the great category at the deadline. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning, they fit that mold, ladies and gentlemen. They made some really good moves, and one, signing Zach Bogosian after getting bought out by Buffalo to a very cheap deal. They did give up a first-round pick for Barclay Goodrow, the San Jose Sharks, but think about it this way. Goodrow's top 12 forward, can play up and down their lineup, and he's still under a contract for another year at a very reasonable cap hit. I think under $1 million for a team like Tampa Bay. That's great. And then you had the acquisition of Blake Coleman earlier before the deadline happened, which is another great move. Top 6 forward that can score up and down your lineup, cheap cap hit. So really, the Boats have extended their window, I think, past this year, maybe for another year, and they're going to try to say, hey, last year was an anomaly after getting swept by Columbus. We're ready to win. So we'll see if they did do good moves, if these moves do pay off. But I think at the moment, the Boats did great. Ottawa Senators, they deserve a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, because what they got for Gabriel Pageau was great. A first, a second, and a third. Yes, Pageau did have a great year, but getting just that ransom, adding all those assets for the Senators as they continue their rebuild, just great. Maybe we can throw the Edmonton Oilers thing. Hey, they did actually great at the deadline as well. Ken Holland using a familiar friend in the Detroit Red Wings and the moves he did to help improve the Oilers. Getting Mike Green, helping round out the top 6, adding some depth on defense, and then getting Andre Athanasiou, a very fast forward, maybe can play with Connor McDavid. These moves really improve the Oilers, especially the injuries they've gone through. So the Edmonton Oilers, I think they did great at the deadline. Now we're moving on to teams that they did good at the deadline. Not great, but these moves were good to improve their team. We're going to start off with the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not Carolina great? They did lost. Yes, they got Sammy Vatanen. Yes, they got Brady Shaycat. And yes, they got Vincent Trocheck, which really they took a lot from Florida, but I don't think it was enough in what the Panthers needed. However, they did not address their needs in net with the injury to James Reimer and Peter Mrazek. They're both out long term. And you saw what happened tonight as they played Dallas Stars. They were down 3-0 very quickly. Goaltending, a very important move for a team. And if you don't address that, especially in a fight for a playoff, you're in trouble. So that's why Carolina, they did good, but not great, and it might come back to haunt them later. The Vegas Golden Knights, they did good as well. They addressed their need on defense, Alex Martinez. They surprised everyone getting Robert Leonard. That really secured the backup role thing. Any concerns with Marc-Andre Fleury, you don't have. Question is going to be how long of a leash does Fleury have in the playoffs? That will be discussed later at another time. I think why Vegas only did good in my eyes, they gave up a more depth on forward with the loss of Cody Eakin. I know he's a center, but you can never be deep on centers when you're in a playoff. You got to go up and down your lineup. Centers play a big part. So that's where I'm thinking Vegas, they fall there, but they still did good. Now, the other team we can say that did good at the deadline would be the Vancouver Canucks. I think the reason why they did address the need by getting Tyler Toffoli after the injury to Brock Besser and losing Michael Furlan for the year. Toffoli's been great. He has 3 goals in his first few games. And they got Louis Domingue at the backup after Jacob Markstrom being injured. Domingue had played in the NHL. He can play games if needed. So I think the Canucks did do good at the deadline. Yeah, they gave up a second-round pick, which now they don't have a pick in the first 2 rounds of this year's draft. But the team looks good possibly to make a good run. Now it's all in the hope of the Thatcher Demko. Another team which we can say that possibly, which actually did good, the Pittsburgh Penguins, ladies and gentlemen. They got Connor Sherry, no familiar face. Got veteran Patrick Marleau, and not forget earlier adding Zucker. The Penguins are loading up for a long-term run in the playoff, and they look ready to go. Question going to be goaltending? Only wait to tell. Their nemesis, the Washington Capitals, they did good. They got Brendan Dillon. They got Ilya Kovalchuk, which is a little interesting, but Kobe and Ovi together, we can say Washington is becoming the state for Russian hockey players. How many Russians they got? Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, Orlov, Samsonov. So many Russians, but we'll talk about that maybe later. The team looks really good. These teams will meet the playoff as well. The Montreal Canadiens, I would say they did good, not great. Yeah, they got a third for Kovalchuk. Yeah, they traded Scandella, got a second. But they didn't trade Thomas Tatar, who's a UFA at the end this year. So and they could have probably got a haul for him. So that is where they stand. Now, moving on to the team that did okay at the deadline, I would say that the team that did okay, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they did okay. They didn't make any moves after a horrific loss to the Hurricanes and to Zamboni driver David Harris. They stayed calm, putting pressure on that group in Toronto. They came a big win against Tampa Knights, so maybe that might get the team kickstarting going. The Philadelphia Flyers, they added Grit and Nate Thompson and Derek Grant, make that team maybe heavier to play against. We'll see how that works out, but they didn't give up many assets there. The Rangers re-signing Chris Kreider. They were going to get a haul for him, but I think Kreider is a crucial part to that team. He had toughness, speed. He's a very good player, very familiar with the organization. I think he'll help out, especially with players like Kako Kape down the road. So the Rangers get a good move there, and especially getting a first for Brady Sakat. Now, teams that did disappoint at the deadline, where I'm thinking, yeah, they should have done more. Let's start off with the Nashville Predators, ladies and gentlemen. They disappointed because this is a team in a hunt for the playoff spot. They don't know if they're going to make it as well. They could have added some pieces, but they didn't. They're starting to go with they will, and they have a tough road to make it to the final if they want to show they're a legitimate cup contender, so they get disappointing. Colorado disappointed. I think they were in on Kreider. When Kreider left, a lot of the big moves already happened. They were in a little bit of a hole, but Nemestikov does help. However, they still need help, I feel, on defense. The goaltending, I know they feel they have enough confidence in Pavel Francouz, the backup. They did extend him, but do they have enough confidence to lead them through the playoff? A long playoff run. We'll see. The Dallas Stars is disappointing because I feel, again, they got to go through St. Louis. They got to go through Colorado if they want to make it to even just the Western Conference Final on its own. Well, they didn't really improve their team, but maybe they believe guys like Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Joe Pavelski, Alec Rangelov, John Klingberg have better playing time as the year go along toward the playoff. Maybe they'll pick it up there. We'll see, but it's not going to be easy. The New York Islanders, they get disappointing to me because I feel they overpaid for Pajot. That's a lot to give up. I don't feel address their need in getting a top 6 scoring winger. They got a lot of good wingers in Eberle, Nelson, Bailey, Beauvillier, but a lot of these wingers go hot and cold. I think Pajot fits that group. We'll see. He does have toughness. He can't play all abilities, but I don't think that is the right fit for there. Let's not forget Lou Morella almost pulled a deal on getting Parise. That would have been interesting, I think. But hey, maybe that would improve their team. And finally, the team we're disappointed with, the Arizona Coyotes. They did not do enough to improve that team. Fighting for a playoff spot, they've been having problems scoring. Yeah, they got Hall, they got Kessel, but maybe a little bit more. They have assets. If they miss the playoff, it's not going to look good on that organization, especially feeling they can win. The team that disappointed at the deadline, in my eyes, were awful, are the Florida Panthers. They gave up so much for Vinny Trocheck, but they didn't address the need of defense. They could have got maybe a Slavin, a Pesci, a Hayden Fleury for crying out loud, but they didn't. Maybe they could have talked to Minnesota and got Mac Dumba. They got some good forward piece in a defense couple of forwards, including Eric Halla, and they got a defenseman. But I don't think that's going to improve this team. This team's on their last limb, trying to stay up with Toronto. Last time I checked, they were losing to Arizona, so another big loss to them, and they are just falling out, which is not good. They put a lot of chips on Bobrovsky, Dale Talon did. It's just looking bad. And then you look at teams that didn't make moves. The St. Louis Blues, I don't think they need to make any moves. They're a good team as it is. They're going to get Tarasenko back before playoffs start. Columbus, the team it's been interesting. I think not making moves is a good point because they want to show we believe in this group, even though with all the injuries, and it would help. And I don't think they want to give up any of these young assets because maybe their future look bright. The Anaheim Ducks, it was interesting what they did. They added some players here and there to help out. The Boston Bruins, they got Andrei Sekak, moved Backes, so I didn't really think they were going to be very attractive at the deadline day, though. Minnesota, Matt Dumba, I think is more of an offseason trade in that matter with that big contract. And finally, a team I actually forgot to talk about was the Calgary Flames. They're disappointing because they're actually in the disappointing column because they addressed their needs on defense. Gustafsson will help the power play. They did tonight. He helped score a power play goal against Boston. Forward might help solidify their defense, help playing them in their own zone. But the forward group did not improve. Treliving did have money to use at the big thing when he traded for a league. Maybe it's a pressure thing like Dubas did in Toronto, saying, hey, the pressure's on you guys to do better. And if it's up to you. If you guys don't, that's it. We're going to have to break it up. So that's for Calgary, and they're disappointing. And lastly, the Winnipeg Jets, they already made their big move, getting DeMello, getting Cody Eakin before the deadline, so I didn't expect them to be busy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for the recap. We will start our race to the playoff videos in the next little while. We'll be going through what teams are doing to keep their playoff hopes alive and strong, or are they just going to shoot themselves in the foot, or injuries are going to demean their chance. Anyways, have a good one, everyone. My name is Randy Dillon. As always, watch some hockey. No, seriously, go watch some hockey. This is probably the best couple of months of hockey we're going to get. The race to playoffs and the first round just around the corner. Have a great one, everyone.